Keighley have won the toss. They are going to play up the hill, into the rain, into the wind, and the field over the far side there, in front of the main stand, extremely heavy.
50 yesterday, we'd like to welcome Danny and his friends from down Cornwall there. First rugby game we've ever seen, but they used to crown pin bowling bodies. Rugby League at Cougar Park for the men from Devon, and Danny McGowan.
Mr. Roddy then just checks his watch, checks with his touch judges, blows his whistle, and away we go. Ball skidding along the turf, indicative of what handling conditions could well be like this afternoon, as Gareth Cochrane runs it away but gets driven back towards his own 10-metre line. And Jason Ramshaw onto Robinson. John Walker in the inside position at the far side of the field there. Strayed way across from his normal wing position at this side for that first attacking move. Ian Gately well met there by that Rochdale tackling machine, as Steve Hall now attempts to stride his way through those tacklers, but still just outside the 20-metre area as Robinson gets Stoop on the move. Stoop breaks into the other half, opposition half of the field. Pinkney kicks forward. The chase is on for Dorey, and in fact it's Ratu having to do the kicking into the crowd there, or into the hoardings, to prevent Keighley's chase from Dorey becoming positive, score-wise that is. Tremendous breakout from the 20-metre line there by Keighley, initiated in the first instance by Robinson, and a good run forward by Stoop. Darren Fleary links with Robinson. Not the best of dropouts from Rochdale. And Steve Hall testing the defence, but the ball sliding out of the hands there, and I fear that there's a strong possibility we may see quite a lot of that this afternoon in the very wet, sticky and greasy conditions. But if Keighley play anything like they did last week up at Whitehaven, which was possibly the best performance I've ever seen in a Keighley side, certainly in recent years, then Rochdale will just have to wonder which way they've gone, but it's early days yet. Penalty there, put into touch by Martin Strett, the Rochdale kicker, goal kicker as well as restart kicker, for the high tackle just inside that Rochdale 20. It's number 10 there, Mark Griffiths, driving in 32 metres out from the Keighley line now, as play switched over the far side there to loose forward Wayne Reid. Atherton gets the ball into the centre of the park, a long ball out this side to Dave Anderson, the wingman, but the ball spilled. Well, the referee says it went backwards. He has a quick look at the touch judge, who confirms his decision. And Anderson once more driving in, spinning away from the arm of the tackling there of Jason Ramshaw. And hooker Martin Kay, acting half-back, gets the ball out there to Atherton. Atherton in the centre, the little chip through, not bringing the success that Rochdale would have liked. And I suspect there that the hooker Kay was well offside. But offside or not, it's a penalty for not releasing the man in the tackle, and it's Keith Dixon in this afternoon for the injured Martin Wood. Well, that ball almost going dead, and that would have been a travesty. And Jason Ramshaw then onto Gately, the head flies back, the crowd shout out of it, but I think you'll notice quite often when Ian Gately does get tackled hard that the head does fly back without the contact being made. But this is Gareth Cochrane, and again, one round the head by Rochdale, and one wonders, have Rochdale in fact come to intimidate? So far Mr. Roddy is having none of it, and that's a much better touch finding kick into the face of the wind by Keith Dixon. Andy Ayres having to drive into the forwards, and Mark Griffiths there doing almost a slalom ride away as he was tackled. Well, he did the tackling. Robinson switches back inside to Cochrane, but Cochrane almost gets the shirt torn off his back there by, I think it was Maudsley. No, it wasn't, it was Tony Hilton. But this is, well, the referee calls shoulder, but I think the upper area of the tackling that's going on by Rochdale is indicative of the way in which they have given notice the intent to play this game. Hard and high. Griffiths just tackled some 25 metres out there following that Jason Ramshaw spill from the acting half-back position. Maudsley offloading, but the man in receipt, I beg your pardon, it was Tony Hilton. Both second rows wearing headgear, so just initially a bit difficult to identify. Both second rows and full-back Steve Gibson wearing head protectors, and the man on the far wing as well, Eamon Ratto. So Dixon finds the hole for Pinckney, but Pinckney loses the ball. That's lost on the first tackle. Ball security, certainly, as I said earlier, is going to have to be a very high priority this afternoon. Oh, and that's Simon Irvine there, completely outstepped by winger Dave Anderson as he went through the centre. Atherton now over the far side there to player coach Steve Gibson. Rochdale still in possession, coming back into the centre area. And loose forward Reid gets the ball inside there. That's Maudsley. He finds hooker Martin Kay, but Martin Kay gets the ball out, and it's an early try there. Chris Churm scores the try, and that all really came from that mistake by Nick Pinckney, spilling the ball on the first tackle. And certainly the ball control is very, very important this afternoon. Respective possession has got to be absolute priority. Certainly the conditions are not that which would assist in it, but safety first has got to be the key word. To take nothing away from Rochdale, they took the opportunity there, they handled securely. Maudsley found the hole for Kay to go in, and standoff Chris Churm, normally the scrum half, finished off. Martin Stratt then from right in front of the post makes absolutely no mistake with that one. 6 points to 0, Rochdale lead. 7 and just short of 8 minutes on the clock. Robinson then prepares to restart. Well weighted there. Knock on, knock back. The referee says it went back, but it certainly struck the hand as the player was coming forward. Whether the ball goes back or not, there must be a momentary nudge forward on that one, I would have thought. Play now then on that Rochdale 20-metre line as they come forward. Kay gets the ball out there through the hands of Reid. On to prop Keith England, back on loan again from Castleford after his first initial spell came to nothing. Another loan spell agreed with the Castleford club. That looked certainly forward. The pass delayed by Maudsley to Gilfillan, just that fraction of a second too long, and fairly obvious forward pass there. So Keighley got an opportunity to build from this point, from the scrum, as Dixon steps to go through. He had Pinkney on his outside, opted to take the play himself as Steve Hall gets away from the ruck and gets Andre Stoop in. Stoop dummies, takes play into the 20-metre area. Dory driving forward, but there's something going on there. Certainly having a go at Andre Stoop was Dave Anderson. The touch judge on very quickly. Now the instruction from the Rugby League this week is touch judges must not enter the field of play in the case of fights. They have to stay back to see who's doing what, not get involved. I'm not sure whether that's so they can see who's doing what, or prevent things happening like happened to Halifax last week when the poor old touch judge caught one in the face, an elbow in the face.
Will be reported and ejected, please. You got identified last time, so please keep the language down. There's families here and we'd like to keep the language clean, please. Thank you. It's the last warning now. If anybody's caught being stupid, they will be evicted and banned for life. Thank you. Also, would appreciate at the end of the game if you could kindly keep off the pitch. As you can see, there's quite a lot of water in it, and not to ruin the pitch. And at half-time, thank you.
Well, Steve Hall called out. It's the two captains, in fact, being called out. Although Anderson's coming out as well. Anderson gets 10 minutes. No, certainly. I always thought the instructions was that sin bins was for technical offences, but referees these days seem to be using it more and more for foul play. As Steve Hall drives in, inside that Rochdale 10, can Keighley build on this one and take advantage of the extra man on the field? Grant Dory driving in, going for the post, still going away. A couple of metres now from that Rochdale line. Ramshaw, acting half-back, gets the ball onto Gately. Gately spins in the tackle, but brought to ground, still in that same spot, a couple of metres away. Ramshaw, long ball out there, walking try for John Walker. That's what it needed. There was obviously a weak spot on this side. Certainly an easy try there for John Walker, but getting unnecessarily involved with those Rochdale players straight after the game, after the try was scored. No need for it at all. Players just being called together to this side, being told that they must not respond to this intimidation that's been applied by Rochdale. No question about the intimidation is there. There's got to be nothing of it. Rochdale have come to try to wind Keighley up, that's absolutely sure. And I think there John was responding to it a little bit unnecessarily there. Simon Irvine then with the conversion attempt, 7 or 8 metres in from the touchline side. And that looks good. That's super. He's still got the boots on from last week at Whitehaven as Simon Irvine. And in fact, another penalty being given now for the offence by Rochdale as on the point of scoring the try. Mr. Oddy absolutely on the ball there.
Super Simon.
So a penalty following the try right underneath the post for that offence by the Rochdale player, presumably on John Walker, as the try was scored. So right from underneath the post, Simon Irvine, I think, chasing some more sand. He only got a handful last time instead of the bucket. But an absolute peach of a conversion there from the touchline side by Simon Irvine, and the try from created there by a tremendous pass out by Jason Ramshaw, cutting out the entire Rochdale defence on this side and giving John Walker the easiest of scores. All he had to do literally was catch it, but a tremendous pass there and good thinking by Jason Ramshaw. Simon Irvine slots over the penalty. That gives Keighley a 2-point lead now, and we've got 14 minutes of the first half gone.
Super Simon.
So then Keighley driving out from their own defensive line is just having a little bit of trouble with the light values up here as Keighley up the sand side. Last tackle coming up then as Darren Fleury tackled just inside his own half of the field. Keith Dixon puts the ball up. It's Lee Atherton, the scrum half, back in the bobbying position. Steve Gibson tries to change direction in a fairly soft spot there in the centre of the field, right in front of those Rochdale posts, 20 metres out. And Kay switches play to Keith England on this side, 10 metres from the halfway line. England gets up, plays the ball to Kay. Across to Atherton in the centre of the field, but well spotted and well shut down there by Fleury and Gately. And Kay once more moves the ball out through the hands of Wayne Reid, the loose forward, and good cover tackling there by Darren Fleury. Aquaplaning some 5 or 6 metres. And out two on the ball spilled. Good weighted tackle there, the ball not secured. Robinson's in the hole. Looking for the gap, realised there's only John Walker outside him. Plays the ball to himself. That man's offside. He's nowhere near 10 metres. Not marking. If he'd have been marking, of course, the penalty would have been given. Ramshaw. And loose forward there, Wayne Reid had a go at Ramshaw after the ball had gone, but this is Keighley's 13. Gareth Cochran getting roughed up there in the tackle. And Steve Hall now. Holding tightly onto that ball as he was pushed back down the hill towards the halfway line as Robinson now finds Ramshaw. Ramshaw puts a long ball out to Walker. Walker tackled though there by Martin Strett quite easily really as Dixon chips forward. The chase is on for Ayers. Dixon the man doing the tackling on that Rochdale fullback Steve Gibson. Mark Griffiths then tackled just short of the 20 metre line for Rochdale. Kay gets the ball in field now. Ratu tackled just outside his 20s. England now driving in towards that 30 metre line, away from his own danger area. And Kay back for the kick. Down it goes. That ball's going to go dead. In fact, if the boards hadn't been there at the bottom, it could well have been outside the road and into the river. Tap restart then. Keith Dixon coming like a train and stopping like into a brick wall as the lights strike up. Gately finds Pinckney on the outside, the Keighley centre just short of the halfway line as his tackle, and Gately inside to Ramshaw, on to Dorey. Dorey splashes through, caught round the face. Robinson infield. But certainly the referee waiting for the advantage to happen there. It didn't happen. So it's a penalty to Keighley for that high tackle, slap in the face, call it what you will, by Mark Griffiths. Mr. Roddy there just waiting to see if advantage could be gained by Keighley. It wasn't, so the penalty was given as Steve Hall now drives up 25 metres out from the Rochdale line. Ramshaw to Robinson. Robinson goes back across field. Needs somebody to chase him, don't look at him, and he's brought down 15 metres short. Ramshaw out there to Cochrane. Cochrane just waiting, wanted to take the penalty quickly, but Rochdale players not going to let him. Steve Hall then with a tap. No, in fact, calling Simon Irvine up to attempt a couple of points. One or two of the fans behind the post there expecting Keighley to run it, but there's only 2 points in front at the moment. Every point you can get playing up this hill is a bonus. Halfway through the first half, as the rain comes down relentlessly. And in fact, I have to be honest, I never noticed Andre Stoop getting 10 minutes. He must have got 10 minutes at the same time. They both got it. I must admit, I never noticed that. Sneaked off very quietly, did Andre there. But that penalty there for the being offside. Punished to the full, 2 points Simon Irvine. Further 2 to Keighley, 10 points to 6 the scoreline reads halfway through the first half.
Simon Irvine.
Restart there deep into the Keighley half. Just stopped by the boot of Cochrane on the try line. Slight hesitancy as he picked it up, but nonetheless manages to get away, and certainly being hung on very tightly there. Robinson, John Walker over the far side of the field, searching to get out of the 20-metre area, but brought down 15 from his own line. Gately this time. Gets up, plays the ball. Ramshaw to Robinson, on to Fleary in the centre of the field. The Keighley second rower looking to find a hole there, but the ball raked back by Rochdale. Very slack play of the ball there, giving Rochdale back possession as Keith England drives in, leads with the elbow slightly into the tackle. And a bit of juggling there by loose forward Wayne Reid. Results in the ball being lost. Ball going round the back. I think Reid just pleading to the referee that that ball was helped out of his arms, but I think when you look at the pictures you'll see that it was round his back and out of control. So then it's a scrum down, head and feed to Keighley. Robinson to feed once the scrum settles, which it does. Cochrane comes out quickly, and there's another one round the top. Well, they're hitting the top area of the shoulder, which is relatively close to the neck biologically. Cochrane stepping left, stepping right, not quite outfoxing the defence. The substitutes on there. David Fell for Rochdale, and it's Simon Irvine over the far side of the field, trying to step out of those tackles, either to play the ball or get away from it. Man certainly interfering there as Ayres gets the ball. And brought to ground by Tony Hilton, just 7 or 8 metres inside the Rochdale half. Ramshaw to Gately. Gately now going up, looks for the gap, but it's the last one coming up now. The referee hand high in the air. A bit slack play round the play of the ball there as Robinson's caught in 2 or 3 minds there. I think in fact he might have thought in fact that the referee had blown his whistle the way he looked round to the referee. But not so. Mr. Roddy whistle miles away from the mouth as Rochdale now try to get the way out as the rain drives straight in at us here at Cougar Park.
Mark Ryan for Mark Griffiths, substitute for Rochdale.
Mark Griffiths, the man, come off, and Ryan come on. It's the Rochdale prop forward number 10 who's been replaced. So the 2 substitutes being made now for Rochdale. Not 100% certain who David Fell replaced. Of course, with a new ruling on substitutes, it happens so quickly. Strett kicking that ball deep downfield on the last tackle. Stoop chips it up into his hands, and a complete line of Rochdale players there, beating every one of the Keighley defence back, and Stoop having to work his way up all on his own. It was a long kick downfield, but a good chase there by Rochdale as John Walker works his way across the field, only to fall on that 30-metre line in the centre. Dowd wanting the man to get up and play the ball, or get off so the ball could be played. Robinson looking to give the ball away. I think looking for Pinkney probably to come back on his inside as Gately now gets the ball in the water splash at the far side. In fact, the ball not given, was it? Yes, it was. The referee, the touch judge indicates that there was a knock on.
We'd like to thank our sponsors today, House and Clough for the main match sponsor. Ball sponsor is Wuthering Heights, Roger the Dodger. Brilliant pub, get up there if you want a good night. Wuthering Heights, the man of the match.
So Rochdale chip forward over the top there, the full back out of the line. Simon Irving just calming himself and steadying himself while he put that ball dead. But certainly 3 chases coming, noticing that Keighley had no full back present. So it's a drop out from underneath those Keighley posts. Keith Dixon on the 26th minute then to launch this ball upfield the best way he can in the wind, but it's straight down the throat of Steve Gibson. Finds England in support. England offloads to Gibson, and Gibson launches himself forward. Kay in the attack now, 10 metres from the Keighley line. Keighley's defence now really come to tackling time as Strett gets the ball. Throws a long one out to that far side. In fact, just gone into touch. The touch judge there indicating on the far side that the Rochdale wingman, Eamon Ratu, had a foot in touch, or put a foot in touch as the ball was struck. So it's a relieving scrum there for Keighley on their own 10-metre line, just outside in fact. And it looks like a differential penalty there to Keighley for not packing down correctly. Feet across, foot up, call it what you will. And the crowd ducking the stand there to get away from that one as it's straight in. Steve Hall straight up. Touch judge on now, obviously something happening there. Martin Kay, I think, the offender, but Martin Kay walking away, so it's not him, it's the other Rochdale man around, claiming in fact that the Keighley player Steve Hall was holding him down. Holding down or not, no use, no excuse for butting. Matt Ryan, the guilty party of using the head there. Keith Dixon putting the ball firmly over the top of the stands, and it's Ramshaw. Gately, 25 metres from that Rochdale line. Can Keighley get some points, some more points on the board now? And again, Rochdale caught offside on that short side, just wedging play in, trying to force the Keighley play into the centre of the park, shut down the speed merchants on the outside, and Simon Irving looks as though he's been called up again to attempt 2 further points. Indeed he is. We've got 28.5 minutes on the clock now as Simon Irving looks to extend that Keighley score from 10 to 12. Simon Irvine then just steadies himself just outside the 20.
Super Simon.
Punished again, 100% record from Simon Irvine. Nobody can argue with that.
There you go, clapping well this time. It's like Danny McGowan's party, that.
Struck with the restart. Gareth with the control of the foot and the pick-up and the breakaway, but being met there by 3 Rochdale forwards intent on pushing him back as far as they could towards his own try line, but Ramshaw onto Fleury. Fleury half through those first 2 tacklers, gets up, plays the ball. Ramshaw, bit of interference going on there, you know. It's all right having a go at Jason Ramshaw, but in all fairness, the Rochdale players very much pressurising the man with the ball in what I feel could be an interfering position at the play of the ball. England offloads there, out to Kay. Kay steps out of that Gately tackle. Ball out there, looks like England in possession again, looking to offload, but he's got 3 Cougars round him. Down plays the ball. On to Reid, Wayne Reid trying to work his way through that defence. Only 2 or 3 metres now from that Keighley line. Atherton gets the ball out to Hilton. Hilton half through the tackle. It's Chris. In fact, that's Atherton, I should imagine. It was Atherton. I believe it was Churm, in fact, who supplied the initial pass. And that scrum forms. Robinson decides that John Walker wasn't a good option with the Rochdale players closing down, so takes the tackle himself. This is John Walker's turn this time. And again, Ramshaw having to stride over the prone body of the Rochdale player, and the ball goes to ground. Rochdale regather, so advantage played by Mr. Roddy. Gibson from the acting half-back position. Tackled by Dorey, just inside, or halfway between the 30 and the 20-metre line, which is approximately 25. And Keith England now driving in, hits that 20-metre line for Rochdale as they launch an attack towards the Keighley line. Atherton across the field. And that sort of pass by the ankles, almost impossible to pick up under the conditions. At least a portion of that boggy section being ploughed flat by the prone body of the Rochdale man who spilled. And it looks like we've had a blood middle substitution there for Dave Anderson. And that's why David Fell was on. He's come off now as Andy Ayres comes away with the ball. Robinson to Hall. Hall drives in. 2 or 3 metres from the halfway line. And Robinson finds Dixon. Dixon misses out Fleury but finds Cochrane, who gets the ball out to Ayres, and Ayres spills the ball. Bit of a knock on both ways.
Liam Bellamy has lost his dad, Kenny, who's waiting in the reception area. Liam Bellamy is in the reception area and he's lost his dad, Kenny. Liam Bellamy, if his dad could go to the reception area, thank you.
7 minutes or thereabouts from half-time as the rain shuts down on us once more. Stret then, down to that 30-metre line. Penalty there for going over the top. Play not allowing the man to get up and play the ball correctly. So it's Stret deciding to go for 2. £12 points to 6, the scoreline reading at the moment in Keighley's favour. Martin Stret hoping to drag a couple back for that infringement at play the ball by Simon Irvin. Stretch settles himself then. Tries to settle the ball, that is, on the pile of sand. Stretch then approaches the ball. Near enough through the post for anybody as that one.
And a good kick there for Rochdale by Martin Stretch.
Keighley then got something just short of 5 minutes on the running clock to face the rain and the wind and the slope here at Cougar Park. Gibson taking that ball, that's held up in the wind, and a good chase by the Keighley forwards to restrict the initial movement into that 20-metre area. So much headgear on the field with this Rochdale side now that I think they must have big shares in Malcolm Brown Sports. Ten metres from the halfway line as Rochdale threw the hands to Keith England, but it's not, I beg your pardon, it's not Keith England, isn't that? Very similar look on him. Checks his studs, Wayne Reid, and Stretch puts the ball down this touchline side. Andre Stoop allows it to go into touch. Only 2 seconds wasted, valuable seconds wasted as far as Keighley are concerned with this formation of the scrum as they walk down the hill. Looking for the half-time break, no doubt. Reasonably well satisfied with the first half, that they've not responded to quite severe intimidation by Rochdale in the first 20 minutes, that's for sure, and contained them to quite a number of limited breaks, as well as, of course, having that 4-point lead. Ramshaw onto Cochrane. Cochrane, the head flies back. The touch judge doesn't see anything, the referee neither, but again, similar to Ian Gately, Gareth Cochrane, when he is tackled hard, the head does fly back, giving the impression that he's being cracked around the head when in fact it's been in the chest. Robinson onto Fleary. Fleary steps to his left, but gets brought down by Chris Churm on the halfway line as Mr. Oddie has the arm up for the last tackle. Robinson puts the kick in, searches for the touch on this side, just creeps in 12 metres out. Anderson then away from that scrum on the 20-metre line as Atherton gets the ball into Gibson. Gibson finds the supporting player there coming forward, and a penalty there for indicated to Nick Pinkney, who wasn't even involved, but a penalty there to Rochdale for hand in the face. John Gilfillan, the man on the end of it, according to the referee. Either that or he's just been given the message as to what's to happen from this tap. Rochdale will be looking to build on that penalty because they know full well that they can't have many more than 2 minutes left. As the leader charge towards the 20-metre line, the Cougar cry goes up, rallying the defence of Keighley to the course. Keith England plays the ball out there to Reid. Reid tackled just inside the Keighley 20. The defence goes back. The switch goes on there to Mark Ryan. He hits the 10-metre line just inside, but brought to ground by Holland, Gately and Kay. Back there for a drop goal attempt. And it's a drop goal there too. Loose forward Wayne Reid.
Drop goal there by Martin Stret.
Martin Stret, beg your pardon. Just edging that point back. Drop goals, of course, can be extremely important, as we've seen on a number of occasions this year with in various matches in the Stones Bitter Championship Division 1 and 2. And Robinson gets play underway for what should be the last set of 6 of the first half. Very little time spent with stoppages other than for the kerfuffle in the top corner after the Johnny Walker try. And I think possibly saying John Walker was guilty, I think it might have been Andre Stoop as well, seeing as he finished up in the sin bin. Keith England offloading there to Kay, but good tackling stint there, good cover there by Darren Fleary. Pushes Kay back. And Atherton tackled 10 metres from the halfway line. Kay acting half-back. Back to the kicker, Stret on to Gibson. Gibson plies the left boot to the ball. It comes down this short side. Andre Stoop decides to take that ball. Not a Keighley man between himself and that line of Rochdale players. As the referee calls time for half-time. The first half scoreline reading 12 points to 8 to Keighley. We've had 4 Simon Irving goals and to 1 John Walker try. 3 penalties, remember, to Simon Irving, giving Keighley's 12. And the try for Rochdale coming from standoff Chris Churn, converted by Martin Stret, who also added a further penalty goal towards the end of the first half, and the drop goal just a moment ago. So the half-time score then is 12 points to 9, not 8, 12 points to 9 to Keighley Cougars.
He'll be watching the game with his brother Anthony from the regular spot behind the post at Walcombe Lane. Bingley 6. Good win. Once again, the raffle ticket number was 522, blue ticket collected from the shop after the match.
All set then for the second half. The Rochdale squad already out on the field. The rain almost comes down in waves, in fact does come down in waves down the field, coming straight in at us here. Conditions for this second half are going to be absolutely appalling if this continues. It's Rochdale who'll be facing the wind, they'll be facing the rain, they'll be running up the slope, everything against them. They're trailing by 3 points. We'll see what happens in the second half. It's about to start. The referee already blown the whistle quite some time ago. The Cougars not too happy, it would appear, of wanting to come out to start this second half. Rochdale already in position. And still no sign of the Cougars. It must be nice and warm in the dressing room. The tea must be beautiful, but here they come. Steve Hall leads them out.
Part 2. All right. Y'all ready for this?
Chris Robinson then sets the ball on the centre spot. Referee Nick Oddy from Halifax checks with his touch judges. Again has a quick look at his watch. And away we go for the second 40. Over to the left-hand side of the field as we look at it. Keighley looking to put a lot of early pressure, I would suspect, on this Rochdale defence. Looks as though we may have even had a change of shirts by Rochdale at the half-time break. And a bit of a juggling act going on there by substitute Matt Ryan. Eventually regains control and goes to ground on the 30-metre line, and it's back for the kick. Martin Stret put under pressure there, but the kick good. Ayres allows it to bounce, regathers. drives back in, but only 7 or 8 metres forward before those Rochdale players get to him. Nick Pinkney's going back in field now, breaks into the Rochdale half of the field. And Ramshaw on to Dixon. Dixon forward past to Keighley. No question about that one. In fact, I would have thought that perhaps Keighley might not have been expecting that ball. It looked to me as though he'd deliberately run through it, expecting it to go behind him to the second man in. So the scrum then to Rochdale on the halfway line as Chris Churm works his way across field. Half evading the tackling of Nick Pinkney, but Pinkney clinging tight to the shirt there. Steve Hall and Keith Dixon doing the tackling there. As Reid gets the ball out this side to Steve Maudsley. Maudsley now without the headgear, normally plays with it. And Gibson at acting half-back, waits till Ratu gets to his feet, goes on his own from that acting half position, but brought down by Keighley and Ramshaw, 10 metres inside the Cougars' half. Kay gets the ball inside through Atherton rather, and out there to Reid. In that extremely boggy part of the field, and it's back once more for Strett to put the ball up to that touchline side. Oh, knock on there. John Walker not using his feet to control that ball there. Certainly would have been better employed under the conditions of just stopping it with his foot before picking it up. As it was, the mistake happened, and Rochdale have the opportunity to build from that mistake. Strett runs round there, back onto Gibson. Gibson back loops round to the standoff Chris Churm, working his way up this short side. Tackled by Pinkney, and it's Ratu in possession now. Walking in, running in field rather, evading the first tackles, and Rochdale setting themselves up on that Keighley 10. Kay back inside, outside rather to England, but England just loses his foot in there as he tries to get round the corner. And it's inside now to Reid. Reid offering as he goes across, not giving it, taking it back inside himself, inside that 10-metre line. Kay steps, looks as though it could be coming short. It goes back for a drop goal though to Strett. Oh, well, that one not successful. Well, now then, there was deliberate tactics by Rochdale, if you like. Winger Anderson deliberately colliding with the Keighley player, Ramshaw, who was attempting to get play underway quickly. But quite often things done in haste. And Ramshaw going on his own from acting half-back, gets almost to the halfway line before being dragged down by Ryan. And pushed back down again. Well, I don't know whether these Rochdale players will learn or not, but Mr. Odd is certainly keen on that. They obviously haven't learned the lesson and they pay the penalty. Dixon going to put this ball into touch on the far side of the field. Well, we had an excuse in the first half because the wind blew it back. Not much of an excuse there as John Walker now loses the ball. So then Rochdale coming back up. But driven back and ploughed back there by Robinson was Kay. Dowd call for forward, but the pass release, the ball releasing the pass there to Chris Churm, but he goes, bites the mud in the centre of the field. Maudsley releases Reid on this side, but tackled by Pinkney just outside the Keighley 20-metre area, and it's number 4 John Glenfillan gets the ball inside to Atherton, on there to Strett, and Strett through the arms of Chris Churm to full-back Gibson, but the ball lost. And there we go, substitute for Keighley, John Walker coming off. It's John Walker coming off and Darren Appleby coming on.
Well, we'd like to congratulate Claire and Jason Ramshaw for the twins, Wesley and Penny.
And Keith Dixon. Tackle just some 15-16 metres from the halfway line. Robinson. Well, certainly Reid interfering again there. The referee is going to have to get a grip of this one, because that was blatant interference by Reid. He was nowhere standing square. He hit the ball as it came away from the play, interfered completely, caused the knock-on, and the scrum given to Rochdale as you would expect. But certainly Reid definitely interfering at play the ball there, as I think he has been doing for quite on a number of occasions in the first half. Gibson tackled in possession there before he can get it away. Gets up, plays the ball to Kay. Kay finds Reid. Matt Ryan, though, tackled as he hits the Keighley 20-metre line. 12 points to 9. Remember, Keighley leading at the moment. And Maudsley offloads there to Atherton. Atherton finds the supporting player coming on the diagonal run. And it's Reid. Long ball out there to Gilfillan. Gilfillan to Maudsley. Maudsley to Ratu. Ratu in. Well, the tackle in the first instance by Keighley there was, I would suggest, an apology for a tackle. I think it was Andy Ayres who tried to barge him into touch, and you can't do that. You've got to hit him hard. You've got to hit him hard in the tackle. I'm sure they know that. So that's 1 point in front to Rochdale now. So set with a difficult conversion attempt, although Simon Irvine did kick one from similar position in the first half. But that try by Ratu just puts Keighley 1 point in arrears. And that one drifts to the left-hand side. So then, just the 1 point in it. Said earlier that the Martin Stret drop goal could be important. How important they had been in games so far this season in various games. One wonders whether, in fact, that will be important. We shall find out, because we've got 32 minutes left for that scoreline to change. Robinson. Atherton just touches it with a foot, but Ratu has to do the sweeping up behind Atherton, and the Keighley defence down there like a ton of bricks on them coming out of that 10-20 metre area. Keith England leading the Rochdale charge, back up the slope. That's 30-metre line now as 4 tackles used, I think. Reid, the man tackled in possession, back on the fourth. A good chase there, but unfortunately Appleby not able to do the tackling. And eventually it's Matt Ryan who, under a lot of pressure from Gareth Cochran, gets the ball away. Andre Stoop offers the ball all the time out to Keith Dixon, who's now moved on to the wing. Darren Appleby going in at standoff. And Steve Hall up towards the halfway line as the rain once more rolls down from the hills. Appleby attempting to get through the centre, but not able to do so, shut down by Hilton and Ryan and Cochran. Good yardage there again by loose forward Gareth Cochran into the Rochdale half. Pinkney inside to Robinson. Gately in there, but it's 30 metres out. The last tackle coming. Are we going to see a big high Robinson kick here for the chase? We're not. It's Dixon who's putting the ball up. It's certainly a good one, and it's a good chase, and it's in. Well, it looked as though he might have got there, but Grant Dory denied the score. The ball just beating him over that dead ball line. But that was a good kick by Dixon in the air. It was a tremendously good chase. And a lot of hesitancy, I have to say, by the Rochdale defence in what to do with it. Ball lost in the tackle. The referee says it's gone backwards, which it did. Stand up and play the ball. Rochdale coming back up the hill. Well, I thought they'd lost possession there, but in fact it's secured. And it's a couple of metres from the halfway line. Ball coming out to this near side where we are, but to switch back inside there by Matt Ryan onto the halfway line. And it's Reid up the centre of the field. Good tackle by Darren Fleary on the Wayne Reid. The Rochdale loose forward. It's the last one coming up, and it hits his own player on the back of the head, almost knocks him out. And it's still the last tackle, and certainly impeded as well. The man played the player there instead of going for the ball. Winger Dave Anderson certainly getting in the Keighley player's way there as he attempted to go for that ball. So then Dixon, a bit more chalk on the cue this time as it finds reasonable touch. Reid takes his position on the wing, Ramshaw, and Dixon takes the ball in. Into the centre of the field where Steve Hall does the driving in, finding some of the drier patches, strides out. Being laid all over there, making an absolute birthday of Rochdale defence there, but it's Robinson now on his knees. Everything came to a halt there as Robinson lost his footing and went down on one knee. But there's a chance now for Keighley to build on this one as Cochrane gets it out there into the heavy area. Appleby, well, he found Stoop under a lot of pressure. Certainly the Rochdale defence up very quickly there, and almost at the instance that Stoop took the ball, he was hit by those three Rochdale defenders. One point in the to the good Rochdale as they work their way up towards the halfway line. Ball lost there by Mosley, regathered by Jason Ramshaw. And Appleby onto Robinson. Robinson offered the ball to Ayres but decides to come back this way. Plays the ball again there, loose forward. Reid not standing square at that play the ball as Steve Hall drives in relentlessly towards those Rochdale posts. Ramshaw acting half-back. On there to Robinson, into the thick stuff for Cochrane, back out the back door there to Grant Dory, but Rochdale tackling well on that occasion, again holding down quite tightly. And Gately, the wind taking hold of that ball as Cochrane gets it out now. Pinkney doing well to pick the ball up. 15 metres out from the Rochdale line as Ramshaw onto nobody, onto Cochrane eventually. Cochrane's in, is he? No, he's held just short of the line in this corner of the field. Gets up, it's the last tackle. Well, Gately not able to do anything with that because, well, I don't think he should have been there. I don't think Ian Gately should have been there in actual fact. He found himself in a position where he had to take it. The player who should have been there wasn't, and Rochdale come away. And holding down there, Chris Robinson, the man guilty. Also, I think perhaps Grant Dory just hanging on to the feet as well. Ball lost there. And Robinson after going looking for that. Well, he was left in no man's land. Where was Chris Robbins? Because it was an absolute appalling ball away from the acting half position. And Kay on to England. Darren Flair hitting England hard, slowing the big number 8 down in his tracks to almost 0. And it's Kay going forward from acting half-back. Straight operating the acting half-back this time. Runs around with Atherton and Reid. And Chris Sherm loses the ball. Substitution required here. Brendan Hill going on. Ian Gately coming off.
Substitution, on comes Big Brendan, and off comes Ian Gately.
Well, we've got a scrum there. It's Keighley's feed. Brendan Hill taking up the position of the number 8 as Dixon weaves his way away and then goes back, heads back into trouble, looks away to comes towards his support, and then for some reason wanders back in field and gets caught. There's Cochrane now. Appleby hands off the first one. Had Brendan inside him, but again Steve Mosley hanging onto the shirt there as Andy Ayres goes inside into the opposition to half of the field. Ramshaw acting half-back. And again, here we go. This is what happened in the first half. Rochdale trying to wedge Keighley back inside by creeping offside on the flanks. Stop the speed men operating. And referee Mr. Oddie once again penalising them for doing just that. Simon Irvine looking to pull 2 off this one, to give Keighley an opportunity of the narrowest of lead. "18 minutes of the second half already gone. 13 points to 12 the scoreline reads in Rochdale's favour. Bang in line with ourselves on the posts. Simon Irvine's task in front of him. Looks straight from here, but anything but down there with the wind as it is coming down the field. He's certainly given it a good chance, but it's going to hit the post. And Ratu's got the job of bringing that one away. And Keighley have got the job now of keeping Rochdale penned down here. You can throw a blanket over the Rochdale players underneath their own posts as they look to drive up, lose the ball in possession. Robinson's looking for somebody to give it to. Andre Stoops in support. Stoops got Pinkney. So often Andre Stoops threatens to give the ball but doesn't. As Robinson, long ball out, Rochdale should be stretched. Oh, in there, Simon Irvine's in at the corner. I thought for a moment there that Jason Ramshaw had messed it about because he was coming back in field, but not the case. It went back outside. Simon Irvine in support, but all that starting once again, stemmed again from the centre of the pack. Chris Robinson looking for the man coming in. Andre Stoop arrived a little bit late, but got there. Down this wing side, swift hands across the pack. Simon in at the corner. Simon Irvine in at the corner. Well, it's taken some time coming in the second half. In fact, half of the second half that try's taken to arrive. But arrive it has done, and it puts Keighley 3 points back in front. A position that I'm still sure they'll not be satisfied. They need to add to that, and 2 points from the boot of Simon Irvine here would be extremely useful. The crowd gone remarkably quiet. Hardly a noise heard. No. Direction completely away there. But nonetheless, the positive side is that Keighley are back in front by those 3 points. Martin Strett looking then to put this ball up this side of the field, I would think. More or less up this side. Robinson tees it up. The old firm of Robinson and Fleury as the ball lost on the first tackle, and that's pressure on Keighley. The push going on there long before the ball going in. And out to Rochdale. Substitute Fell takes play towards the 10-metre line. Germ switching back to the left, but then trying to jink his way through the centre of the field. Crowd call for forward pass there as John Gill-Fillan brought down 10 metres from the line. And Kay stands up. Out then, can't see a damn thing. Back in vision again then as the ball goes across. It's Gibson in possession. Quick hands out there to the wing, but that's a knock on. Could well have been a regather by Keighley. As it is, it's going to be a scrum.
Tremendous crowd today. In the conditions is 3,887. Yay! Thank you, Cougar time.
Robinson then in and out of the scrum. Appleby not able to get into position to take that one, losing his feet. Robinson have to go down and take the tackle as Simon Irving drives out to the 20-metre line in the centre of the field. And again, the Rochdale player interfering at the play, in the play the ball area. Mr. Roddy certainly had an excellent game this afternoon, but needs, I would think, to pay a little bit more attention to that area around the play the ball, and certainly plenty of attention, talking of that, being given to Brendan Hill. And Steve Hall now to the halfway line. 4 Rochdale players round in there as they scramble to the feet. Ramshaw switches play there, and Pinkney hoists the ball up. The referee tells Darren Flair that he's offside. Steve Gibson, the man in possession, gets the ball away, and we're moving away now, or Rochdale I should say are moving away. So just outside that Rochdale 20 now as Keighley yet again look to contain the Hornets down this end of the field. And here we go. There we go. Look, there's interference. Anderson in a deliberate offside position inside the Keighley line at that play the ball. And certainly I've been allowed to get away with a tremendous amount of interference. Pinkney going in field, but tackled just inside the Rochdale half. Ramshaw acting half back. Robinson. Well, Appleby, Robinson looking for the run round behind Appleby. Appleby taking the ball in as Robinson now gets the ball out to Dore on that far side of the field. And that's the area of the field that Rochdale will be happy for Keighley to play in all afternoon, because it slows them down. Ramshaw doing the juggling act there and hanging on to it. It's the last one this time. Ramshaw slow to his feet. Even slower away there by Appleby, and Steve Hall having to do the kick. Gibson almost makes the rugby union mark, and a good chase by Kicker Hall, well followed up by Gareth Cochran. Walking off the mark. And Fleary penalised there by Mr. Roddy for laying on Dave Anderson. Well, this man Anderson seems to be all over the place, and wherever he goes he seems to be involved round the play of the ball, either interfering or involved. Ratu inside.
Rochdale.
And it's Ryan driving in, tackle 10 metres inside the Cougars' half of the field. Coming up this short side there is John Gilfillan. Tackled by Pinkney, and Churm crawling over Pinkney's body to get to it, and the chip over the top for the chase. Andre Stoop, ooh, catches the knees. Not intentional, I would think, but so we've got to drop out underneath the Keighley post. Then it's Keith Dixon who will be dropping this ball out, left boot. Hopefully using the wind, but not really. Chris Churm on the end of it, gives it to Matt Ryan, who drives in 25 metres out, and the rain still coming down, still into these Rochdale faces, but it doesn't seem to have had much effect on them in this second half. Lost ball there. Well, the referee said it was all right. He's a bit nearer than we are, but it looked to certainly go out sideways, indicating a possibility of a lost ball. But Wayne Reid now in possession, switches to Maudsley. Maudsley offloads in the tackle there, back to Gibson. Gibson hands off there, and it's Churm over the far side, going up the wing, turning round, being allowed to run. Chris Churm caused Keighley a lot of problems over at Spotland earlier in the season with that type of running. And it's Gibson back into John Gilfillan. Steve Maudsley looks for the supporting player, but it's not there. And a good chase there by Steve Hall on Lee Atherton. Martin Strett looking to put the ball through. And Atherton injured, as well as another Rochdale player there, down.
Well, I think our sponsors today, Harrison Clough, that's the match sponsor, and the ball sponsor is Wuthering Heights and Roger, and the man of the match sponsor is John Matthewman, Textiles at Dewsbury. I'd like to thank them very much. And man of the match sponsor is John Matthewman, and picked Keighley Cougars Steve Hall as man of the match.
Man of the match announcement made very early there, still 10 minutes of the second half left to go.
McLaren, I think it is, all from Harrison Clough. We'd like to wish them all the best.
The injuries,
that's to
the
Jenny.
two players been completed, the treatment completed, so eventually play will get back underway when the scrum forms. Looks like a hand injury there to that Rochdale player, as of course Chris Churm's looking at the shoulder. Not too sure how many substitutes Rochdale have had so far. They may well have used the substitutes up.
Okay, tickets for New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve.
Well, the ball handling second row, Steve Maudsley, he's leaving the field.
Hectic season. See you down here.
Certainly looks like a hand injury, and there's no movement from that Rochdale bench to replace him, so may well they... In fact, substitute has been brought on for Maudsley. Just having a quick count, not sure that 13 used or 3 used or 4, but I fancy that's now the last substitution that they have at their disposal, as Keighley now, in the form of Brendan Hill, drive into the Rochdale half of the field. Ramshaw acting half-back. Can Keighley step up the gear necessary to bring the score that will certainly make it feel a little bit healthier from their point of view? Ramshaw onto Fleary. Fleary goes through the Everglades bog on the far side. Ramshaw. Robinson onto Appleby. Cochrane steps inside but loses the ball. Rochdale regather. Thank you very much, they say. So okay then, away to Ratu on the far side of the field, or sorry, in the centre of the field. Steve Hall catching one there as he got up. And the ball away there, Reid. Well, not going anywhere, that player, apart from rounding circles, and just for a moment David Fell was being allowed to do so. Gilfillan tackled just short of the halfway line. And Churm inside there to Stret. Stret gets the ball onto Fell. And the last tackle comes up as Steve Gibson's tackle there just inside his own half of the field. Flat ball across there. Tony Hilton does the kicking through. Robinson does the chasing. And well, the tackle made sure, the man making sure that he was going down there. And Andre Stoop not allowed to get away from that acting half position. And Keith Dixon across then to Andy Ayres on this side of the field. Ayres comes down, catches a knee in the back in the process, but still manages to get back up and play. He's got Pinckney with him. Oh, Nick Pinckney's in the gap. That's the only gap that Pinckney needs. He puts the 4 points on the board. But what a tremendous work rate there by Andy Ayres. He set that up. His determination inside his own half of the field. Bust the tackles, refused to go down. He had Pinckney in support. The flying centre did the rest. But what tremendous work there by Andy Ayres, the creator of a magnificent try.
And it made him awful shy, and so they gave him medicinal compound.
And what's more, the score coming right underneath the black dot, or in Keithley's case, the green dot.
Well, here he is, the Big Panther, the Big Panther. Everybody loves a panther that's pink. He really is a...
That's a new one.
Yeah, you can say that one again. Certainly is a new one. It was certainly loud, but this is Simon Irving's opportunity to stretch that points lead to from 7 to 9.
Super Simon.
Put your hands on your hips, let your back fall if it's time to says. Put your hands on your hips, let your back fall if it's time to says.
So then play on the 10-metre line of Keighley. Just quickly checking the score, 22 points to Keighley. As the break comes on again now, Andre Stoop feeds the ball out there to Dixon, skipping through the heavy stuff, skipping away, still going. Oh, and it's a breakaway try there, right from that scrum. What a tremendous score. The ball went out the far side. Dixon in support.
He aquaplaned through that heavy stuff in the centre of the field, down the stand side. And that really has got to be the killer as far as Rochdale's concerned. They've applied themselves with great purpose in this second half. They actually clawed the lead for quite some considerable time, but first of all the Pinckney try, then the Dixon try. Keighley back in business to some tune. 26 points to 13 the score now. We're well inside the last 5 minutes of this fixture. A game which for a while looked as though it might have been slipping out of Keighley's grasp, but have most positively been taken control of in the last 5 minutes.
Dixon.
Simon Irvine then from about 10-11 metres in from that far touchline side. Wouldn't it be good if this one went through? Two magnificent tries.
And there we are. That just about seals it. That's absolutely superb. Two super tries by Keighley in the space of 3 minutes.
And so the Cougars' roll continues. Good restart there, well taken by Brendan Hill. On the rebound, as you might say. Up plays the ball, Ramshaw on his own from acting half-back. Skips away from the tacklers, but the ball lost in that heavy area in the slippy conditions. Conditions which have taken a great effect on the game all the way through. Quite a number of handling errors, some forced, some affected by the weather. In fact, a lot affected by the weather. But as far as Keighley are concerned, it's done, it's won. Rochdale still looking to get points, of course. There's still a few minutes left, and points difference at the end of the season that can make a tremendous amount of difference, as we've seen for the past couple of years, certainly in the first division. England offloads, but the ball spilled, knocked on.
Just like to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, if you please keep off the pitch at the end of the game, it just helps a little bit for the lads trying to get it right. Kindly keep off the pitch at the end of the match, thank you.
A minute and a half then less now of the allocated 80 minutes as Cochrane breaks from the scrum.
Andy Ayres on the short side. Has he got the legs? Is he going to get there? Well, Rochdale managed to get to him, but the ball's put in field. Robinson chips the ball. It looked to me like Robinson knocked the ball back, but referee Mr. Roddy says no. Well, I would be absolutely certain that ball was palmed back by Robinson. Mr. Roddy's just that little bit closer than we are. John Dory also thought so because he got the touchdown, but you can see by the look there on Chris Robinson's face that he's absolutely devistated by that decision. As Rochdale get the ball from the scrum.
That's shared here against Chorley's all pay.
And a penalty there to Rochdale. Not really sure the reason for the penalty other than perhaps not allowing the man to get away and play the ball, but I was just going to say there's far more laying on going on there than there was previously. And as that ball goes into touch, or doesn't go into touch, that's the end of the allocated 40. Dixon goes down the far side, half through the break. He had Andre Stoop outside him, but gets up now, plays the ball. And again, there's interference there by the Rochdale player on the floor, just sitting up at the crucial moment when the ball was going to be spun out. Dixon then, onto Cochrane. He finds Ramshaw. The Cougars are in the pack here in the hunt. Robinson puts a kick over the top, but I think, well, it looked as though it might be going to beat, but the ball was holding there. I thought it was going to beat
everybody into touch, but it just held up inside. Rochdale forced to put the ball into touch. So with a scrum now inside or on that 10-metre line, can we see a final try from Keighley as Appleby gets the ball across? Pinkney onto Irvine. Irvine back inside to Pinkney now. Skips away from the first would-be tackler. Runs round in a circle but goes to ground there brought to ground by Martin Kerr, the Rochdale hooker, as Ramshaw, the Keighley number 9, gets the ball away quickly out the far side. Simon Irvine standing in the pond there. Brought to ground on the 20-metre line. Inside stoppage time now as Ramshaw goes on his own. Feeds Simon Irvine, is it? Or is it Steve Hall? Up, play the ball. Oh, and that's a poor pass away there as Cochrane being left to do the sweeping up from behind. But there's the final hooter. The Cougars have won 28 points to 13. Their scores have come from a try from John Walker, the second half try with the pass out by Ramshaw to Simon Irvine. That splendid try by Nick Pinkney provided by Andy Ayres, and the long range one there from Keith Dixon also. We've seen 6 Simon Irvine goals, which gives Keighley their total of 28, and Rochdale's 13 coming from the try in the first half by Chris Churn, a couple of Martin Streck goals and a drop goal by the same player. In the second half, they stitched up their scoring with Eamon Ratu's try, but there's no question about it, a very comprehensive, if not late judge victory by Keighley Cougars. Final score then here at Cougar Park: Keighley Cougars 28, Rochdale Hornets 13.
Hey, all the boys. It's another one, and we're still moving up. Cougars winners.